Hello and welcome to our Business English podcast. First, I'd like to ask everyone listening, have you ever felt stuck or overwhelmed when people speak English quickly at work? That might mean it's time to tackle a key skill, effective English listening.
Absolutely. You see, clear listening skills can change how you communicate in meetings or during phone calls. This topic is vital because strong comprehension builds confidence, speeds up decision-making, and helps avoid misunderstandings. It's basically the cornerstone of solid international business interactions.
Indeed, that's exactly how I see it. Our focus today is the secrets to effective English listening practice. We'll show how this approach can help you engage more actively, respond faster, and truly shine at work. And it's not as difficult as you might think.
Exactly. We'll break down the podcast into segments. First, we'll introduce the main points. Then we'll dive deeper into real-world examples. And finally, we'll review some practical language tips. If you have opinions, please share them in the comments because output matters too.
Couldn't agree more, everyone. Remember that the more you speak and write about what you learn, the faster you improve. Let's learn together. And don't forget to like this podcast and subscribe for more helpful episodes. All right, let's jump right into our main topic. The secrets to effective English listening practice. First, we'll outline a few key strategies, then highlight why listening is so critical today, and finally explore some real success stories from international teams.
Totally. In the modern workplace, people handle virtual conferences, cross-border meetings, and multinational projects. You're spot on that listening can be tricky, especially with different accents or technical terms. But when you master this skill, you gain a real edge in communication and collaboration.
Exactly. Let's start with the basics. For effective listening, focus on what you're hearing and reduce distractions. Couldn't agree more that noise and multitasking ruin your concentration. A practical tip is to pause notifications and find a quiet space when possible.
Yes, another essential strategy is to listen for key words or phrases. If you pick up crucial terms like deadlines, deliverables, or budget constraints, you'll catch the core message. I mean, you don't always need every single word to understand the main idea.
Precisely. Listening is not just about hearing sounds, it's about processing the meaning behind them. With so many global teams, you're bound to encounter varied accents. That's why consistent practice, like watching English videos or tuning into podcasts, becomes so important.
Indeed. The other day, I heard about a multinational startup that struggled with cross-team communication. They realized people were missing key updates in meetings simply because they couldn't catch all the spoken details. After focusing on listening drills, their productivity soared.
No doubt about it. And technology has made listening practice easier. You can slow down audio tracks, read subtitles, or replay sections multiple times. That's right, there are lots of language apps designed for repeated listening. These tools are perfect for daily training.
Absolutely. In many global firms, employees practice short listening exercises before a team call. They'll listen to a short clip about a project update, then paraphrase what they heard. It's basically a warm-up that gets everyone focused on the conversation that follows.
That's right, we're also seeing a trend where managers encourage employees to join international webinars, then discuss key points afterward. This reflection time really cements what they heard. It's a best practice because it combines active listening with active summarizing.
Exactly. Another big thing is learning how to handle different accents. You know, sometimes people speak quickly or use slang. By exposing yourself to various sources, you'll get more comfortable with diverse speaking styles. That will reduce confusion in real business settings.
Couldn't agree more. Let's not forget about note-taking. Jotting down key points as you listen is an underrated technique. When you revisit those notes, you reinforce key vocabulary and ideas. It's a simple habit that can greatly enhance comprehension and retention.
Indeed. Let's also acknowledge that many top companies invest in listening workshops. They bring in specialists, create interactive exercises, and measure progress. This commitment indicates how vital listening has become, especially in global markets. So there's serious value in sharpening your listening skills.
Precisely. As we move forward, we'll discuss even more about refining your listening routine, from everyday habits to advanced methods. So stay tuned. Now that we've covered the overall importance, let's dive deeper into specific approaches and real success stories.
Absolutely. We'll shift into our next segment soon, where we'll highlight practical ways to boost understanding in different contexts. Keep in mind that consistent, focused practice is your best bet. Let's keep exploring the secrets to effective English listening practice.
By the way, one more trend is using short podcasts or audio summaries during commutes. People find a brief 10-minute session each day helps maintain consistent exposure. This small habit can quickly build stronger listening skills over time.
Indeed, couldn't agree more with that. Even 5-minute audio diaries or a quick news segment can make a real difference. No matter your level, setting a daily listening routine is a huge step toward fluency. Let's keep that in mind.
All right, let's move on to our English lessons segment. We'll pick 5 key words or phrases from our previous discussion. These terms might feel unfamiliar, but they'll definitely help you navigate business conversations more smoothly. Ready to learn some new vocabulary?
Absolutely. The first word is deliverables. This means the specific results or items that a project must produce. For example, our deliverables include a final report, a budget plan, and a presentation. It's common to hear this term in project management.
Exactly. Next is soared. We said productivity soared, which means it increased very quickly or significantly. Here's a sample sentence. After we streamlined our process, sales soared last quarter. It shows a strong upward change in performance or numbers.
Absolutely. Third, we have accents. This refers to the distinct way people pronounce words, often influenced by their region or country. For instance, I'm used to hearing a British accent, so an Australian accent can sound unfamiliar at first.
You nailed it. The fourth term is paraphrase, meaning to restate something in your own words to confirm understanding. An example. Could you paraphrase the client's main request? Doing so ensures everyone shares the same interpretation of what was said.
Indeed. Finally, let's look at cement, used as a verb. It means to strengthen or reinforce an idea. For instance, summarizing the speaker's main points helped cement my understanding. It's a metaphorical way of saying you're making something more solid.
Precisely. These words and phrases frequently appear in business settings, so understanding them can boost clarity in meetings and emails. Feel free to revisit this lesson and practice forming sentences using each term. That repetition will solidify these concepts in your memory.
Totally. And if any of these terms are still confusing, don't hesitate to check a good dictionary or ask for examples in the comments. We're happy to help. Now let's move on and see how these ideas connect to real-world practice.
Also, try to use these words in a short paragraph or conversation with a friend. By doing that, you're actively applying new vocabulary, which helps cement your understanding and improve your recall later on. Give it a try.
Yes, and keep in mind, building your vocabulary step by step is a real game changer for overall fluency. Let's now head into our next section, where we'll share practical tips for perfecting your listening skills in daily business scenarios.
All right, let's jump into practical tips. We want to give you concrete methods to apply the secrets to effective English listening practice in your daily routine. We'll cover everything from simple habits to modern apps that boost your listening skills.
Yes, one practical idea is to set aside 10 minutes every morning to listen to a short English audio clip. It could be a news brief, a motivational talk, or an industry update. This daily habit primes your ears for work conversations.
Absolutely. Another tip is to watch business videos with subtitles in English, not your native language. Then turn off the subtitles once you're comfortable. That gradual shift strengthens your comprehension. You see, reading can help at first, but real progress comes from listening independently.
Exactly. Next, consider setting up a study group with colleagues who also want to improve their English. Pick a short video or audio clip, listen together, and then discuss. This process helps you catch different perspectives, and you can paraphrase key points to practice.
Indeed. Don't forget about podcasts created for language learners. Some podcasts feature slower speech, clear enunciation, or transcripts you can follow. After you listen, try summarizing the main ideas. This method cements your grasp of the topic and highlights any vocabulary gaps.
No doubt about it. Another approach is to practice active listening during real conversations. Focus on the speaker, ask clarifying questions, and paraphrase what they've said. That's right, it shows you're engaged and also helps you remember the information more effectively.
Totally. Let's talk about leveraging technology. Language apps now provide interactive listening drills, quizzes, and progress tracking. Some even use AI to tailor lessons to your level. This adaptive approach keeps practice interesting, which is crucial for consistent improvement.
Absolutely. There's also a growing trend in using virtual reality for language practice. You can join simulated meetings or casual gatherings, which helps you adapt to different voices and accents. It's like stepping into an international office without leaving your home.
Indeed, if VR isn't accessible, don't worry. You can still find online discussion forums or social media groups. Engage in voice chats, or watch live streams on business-related topics. Interacting in real time pushes you to listen carefully and respond quickly.
Exactly. Another big tip is to mix up your listening content. If you only listen to formal interviews, try adding casual talk shows or vlogs. That variety expands your ear to different speech patterns. You see, each style improves your adaptability.
Precisely. Also, try shadowing. That means repeating phrases out loud right after you hear them. It's a popular approach for improving pronunciation, intonation, and even listening comprehension. By mirroring native speakers, you become more aware of subtle sounds and rhythms.
You're spot on. Let me see. We should also emphasize consistency. Listening practice once a month won't bring fast results, but doing it daily or a few times a week does. Basically, you want to make it a regular part of your schedule.
Couldn't agree more. And here's one last idea. Try writing down new vocabulary right after you hear it. Then, review that list regularly. Combining listening with reading and writing boosts retention and makes it easier to use those words in future conversations.
Absolutely. These tips should help you form a strong foundation. Keep in mind that small, consistent efforts add up to big improvements over time. Now let's shift gears and explore some new vocabulary from our discussion in the next English lesson.
Before we wrap this section, consider exploring webinars in your field. Attending live sessions forces you to follow along without pausing, which enhances active listening. Then, you can ask questions, clarify details, and cement your understanding on the spot.
Indeed. And if you miss anything, most webinars offer recordings. Reviewing them helps you catch parts you didn't understand the first time. No matter your schedule, there's always a creative way to practice listening. Let's keep pushing forward together.
Let's begin English Lesson 2. We'll review 5 new words and phrases from our Practical Tips section. These terms can really sharpen your business vocabulary, especially when discussing your daily study routine or new learning technologies.
Absolutely. The first word is prime, which we used to mean prepare or get ready. For example, listening to a short podcast in the morning can prime your mind for English communication. It's like setting the stage for better performance.
Exactly. The second term is adaptive. We mentioned adaptive apps that change lessons based on your progress. So if you do well on a quiz, the app adjusts to challenge you more. For instance, our training program is adaptive, so each employee learns at their own pace.
Absolutely. Third, we have simulate. We mentioned simulated meetings or scenarios in VR. It means to create a realistic imitation of something. For example, we used a role-play activity to simulate a challenging client call and improve our negotiation skills.
Precisely. The fourth word is foundation. We said these tips help you form a strong foundation. It refers to the base or core of something. For instance, understanding grammar is the foundation of writing clearly in English. It's what everything else is built on.
Indeed. Lastly, let's discuss shadowing. It's that technique where you repeat what you hear almost instantly. For example, shadowing news broadcasts helps me copy native pronunciation. This approach strengthens listening comprehension, accent, and overall fluency by forcing you to process language in real time.
Totally. Each of these words can help you talk about different aspects of learning and improvement. Try using them in real sentences. For example, share how you're creating a strong foundation or using adaptive tools to simulate real-world scenarios.
Precisely. And remember, if anything is unclear, you can always ask questions in the comments. We love hearing your experiences with shadowing, prime routines, or VR simulations. It's basically a community effort where we all benefit from shared tips and examples.
Exactly. Keep building your personal vocabulary list, and don't forget to use these expressions in meetings or emails when appropriate. The practice cements the knowledge further. Now let's wrap up this episode with a quick summary and final thoughts.
Absolutely. Before we close, remember to challenge yourself daily. Even small efforts, like replaying a tricky segment or shadowing a short sentence, can yield big results over time. Consistency is the ultimate key to mastering these powerful listening techniques.
All right, let's bring everything together. Today, we explored the secrets to effective English listening practice, looking at why listening matters so much in global business and how to refine it. We shared practical tips like active listening, shadowing, and leveraging new technology.
Exactly. We also did 2 English lessons where we introduced vocabulary like deliverables, sword, accents, prime, and shadowing. Each term equips you to handle workplace conversations more confidently. Reviewing and practicing these words will strengthen your overall command of business English.
Absolutely. We hope our examples of daily habits, group activities, and innovative tools spark new ideas for your own practice. Remember, it's not about perfection, but progress. Small, consistent listening exercises can transform your communication skills and amplify your effectiveness in any professional setting.
Indeed. Thanks for joining us today and investing in your language development. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Feel free to share your challenges or success stories. And if you found value in this episode, please like it and subscribe.
No doubt about it, your engagement helps us create better content. So keep practicing, stay motivated, and we'll see you in the next Business English podcast. Until then, keep honing your skills, and remember, we're all on this journey together.